I've been meaning to debunk the myth that Afro hair doesn't grow for the longest while. I mean, it just makes no sense. Look, I cut hair. I've been cutting hair for my living all my entire life. And so it is evident that in my clients, if they never cut their hair, imagine what the outcome would be. Their hair would be obviously very long. Which brings me to the question, who's been telling us this? Right? Or is it something that has been planted way back into our psyche? I mean, history has shown that our hair has been the envy of the world from time immemorial. Just look at history, for example. So before I actually demonstrate and show you how long Afro hair can be, with even in my own family, let's look at some examples. For instance, when our ancestors encountered the Europeans, which is under very nefarious conditions and really dodgy time indeed, as far as history goes, let's call it slavery. I prefer to call it, our people POWs, prisoners of war. So the first thing they did was to shave their beautiful hair off. So there must be some evidence in that fact that if you're going to shave somebody's hair off, you're definitely trying to disempower them. Their hair would have been their glory, their crown and glory, obviously. And further along, you come into the Tigan Law era, Louisiana, 1800s, when black women, for all intents and purposes, were so beautiful and so gorgeous that their hair was an issue for their European counterparts. And so a law was passed to forbid them to wear their hair in public. And here's the reason why. Their counterparts, European women, thought that they would obviously attract their white suitors. So, you don't pass a law to prevent the people from wearing the hair if that hair it wasn't beautiful, wasn't gorgeous, wasn't sublime in how it looked. Right, so these examples, as simple as they may be, in fact, it carries a lot of weight. It tells you, therefore, that Afro hair grows, and it grows beautifully, and it's invariably, in my opinion, based on what history has said, the envy of many people. Look at the Afro comb. It's the oldest tool that has been in history. It's the oldest tool invented. It's over 5,000 years old. It kind of smells of Willie Lynch's theory that if you tell a person something for long enough, they'll believe it. So you could very well imagine if you tell, for instance, a long-haired person that their neighbor's hair is short, that, there's something wrong with it. But what we have to bear in mind is many people's hair are predisposed to shrinkage. There's nothing wrong with shrinkage. If the hair shrinks, it's obviously in tune with nature, it's in tune with the atmosphere, so it shrinks for a purpose. And it shrinks and it protects our hair. If you think of where we come from and our hair shrinks, it shrinks and then covers. It's like a plant. You see how some plants respond to nature. Our hair responds to nature. So when your hair shrink by virtue of the atmosphere, there's nothing wrong with it. There's something, in my opinion, very sublime about that. So let's not get these things out of context. But the moment you stretch the hair, of course, our hair has enormous elasticity. Not many hair type does. So when you stretch Afro hair, you see how it could go from very, very short to extremely long. And that's the reason why over the centuries, over the decades, our people would choose to relax their hair. There's nothing wrong with a relaxer. They relax their hair for, to beautify themselves. Nothing wrong with that. And what happens is the hair then is stretched to its limit. So you can have a very, very short afro, and when it's relaxed or pressed or blown dried or pressed and curled, the hair gets very, very long. So there's nothing wrong with that. So when somebody's hair looks short, it is not exactly very short. The point I'm trying to make is Afro hair grows, and it grows long, and history has told us the longest hair, women with the longest hair on the planet are invariably from Africa. I mean, our women spend a whopping over £3 billion per year on their hair. And why? It's because they've been caring for their hair from the day they were born. It's in the DNA. That's what we do. I mean, the hair has been said to be our crown and our glory. And even Jesus Christ himself had a beautiful hair of curls. Bible talks about it being curly and woolly. And so to me, it just makes sense if God's going to create his precious people or a precious son, he wouldn't give him bad hair, obviously, or contrary to popular opinion, There's no such thing as bad hair, but that's what most people are led to believe. So if you are going to be Jesus Christ and you've got long, gorgeous hair, then there's something the Creator intended it for it to be like that. As I said, our people are nothing but game changers. And we've been styling our hair from day one. Look at the pyramids, look at the Egyptians, look at well, not our, I mean, Africans in Egypt. Look at what they did to their hair. Look at the bobs that they created. There's some of the most amazing wigs were created in Africa thousands and thousands of years ago. So we've been doing this from time immemorial. And it was also very interesting. When our people were sort of caught up in this battle, this war, call it slavery. I mean, our people, our ancestors would take the beautiful long hair and style the hair into directions, I mean, maps out of their own hair. So you could well imagine you had to have had, I mean, hair of real great texture and tenacity to be able to do that. So there's nothing wrong with Afro hair. It grows. And I'm just saying this to say that before I get into the topic of showing you hair, for instance, my own daughter's hair is extremely healthy and long and well catered for because she uses my father's product line. Be very careful who we listen to. The fact is, most people are entitled to their own opinion, but not to their own fact. The fact is, Afro hair grows, and Afro hair grows very well. Be careful who you listen to, or who you observe, or to whom you emulate, because the very people whom you're trying to emulate, if you feel the need to emulate somebody, these are the very same people who are envying you or in love with your hair. I mean, if you think of a sister walking around throughout history, I mean, you think of Angela Davis, you think of the great hairstyles that came out of the 60s, 70s, way back in 20s and the 30s. Some of the most gorgeous hairstyles are people coming into England from the Caribbean and the Windrush. You saw how they were able to style the hair into the most glorious hairstyles. Yes, my people, don't be worried. Invest time back into your hair, like your ancestors used to do. And to do that, invest in the Derek Clement hair care system. And the Derek Clement hair care system is the perfect way to get your hair back in its form. Okay, the Derek Clement system is based on 3 systems. The 3 tiers. It's a system based on 3 tiers. And that coalesce into a gorgeous product line, a product range. Okay, so we start by saying that the hair should be shampooed, and the hair should be co-washed, and the hair should be conditioned. And that's what we call the cleansing tier. And of course, the second tier is all about the feeding or moisturizing, hydrating, and nourishing tier, which is what you do daily. Whether your hair is relaxed, whether it's natural, it's locked, you just need to use that daily. It's all about daily hair care. And finally, if we've got the feeding tier, which is the food, such as the Jamaican black castor oil, sheen oil, and of course the infamous hemp hair and scalp food, and the hair growth treatment. So that's the system. It's very, very simple. Invest into it, and invest back into caring for your hair. And don't let anyone tell you that your hair doesn't grow. Your hair grows, and it grows well. But you've got to use the products. You've got to use the right product like your ancestors used to in the past. Products that are not infused with chemicals that are harmful. Got to use products that are infused with the right ingredients, what nature intended in the first place. And if you think about it, nature has planted all your hair goodies in your ancestors' locations: Jamaica, the Caribbean, Grenada, all over the Caribbean, Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. All in those countries exist the ingredients: coconut, shea butter, palm oil. All these are great hair foods. They are foods. So you're going to get back into using go back. It's all about going back. Sankofa to sustainability. Things that are indigenous to you. So that's what's in our product range, the Derek Clement hair care system. It's all the stuff that we use. And the care and the love. And let me finally say, we know your hair and we care. Because your hair is your crown and it's your glory. And get it back to its former glory. Your tress is your treasure. Because your hair is your crown and it's your glory. And get it back to its former glory. Your tress is your treasure.